Once upon a time, long ago, in a small village nestled along the Niger River, there lived a wise farmer named Babaido. He was known throughout the land for his bountiful crops and generous spirits. Babaido lived peacefully, sharing his harvest with his neighbors and never taking more than he needed. In the same village, there was a greedy chief named Oba Odele. He ruled over the people harshly, demanding heavy taxes and taking their best crops for himself. The villagers feared him, for anyone who opposed him was punished severely. One season, a great drought struck the land. The river dried up, the soil cracked, and the crops withered under the scorching sun. Many villagers struggled to feed their families, but Oba Odele still demanded they bring him the finest yams, maize, and cassava. Desperate, the people had no choice but to give up what little they had. Babaido, however, was prepared. Thanks to his wisdom, he had stored enough food for the drought and even had a secret well hidden deep in his farmland. Yet, when Oba Odele heard that Babaido still had plenty to eat, his greed grew even more. One evening, Oba Odele summoned Babaido to his palace. "Old man," the chief sneered, "I've heard tales about your abundant harvest. You must bring me your finest yams by tomorrow, or I will take everything you have." Babaido, seeing the greed in the chief's eyes, nodded calmly. "I will bring you what you ask, Oba, but let me first tell you a story." Oba Odele, curious but impatient, allowed Babaido to speak. "Once there was a king," Babaido began, "who, like you, took from his people without limit. One day, a wise man visited his palace, much like I have come to yours. He brought the king a basket of the finest food, but warned the king, 'This basket holds a curse. If you eat from it alone, disaster will follow. But if you share it with your people, it will bring you endless prosperity.'" Chief scoffed. "What foolishness! A curse from a basket?" Babaido smiled. "The king, like you, did not believe the warning. He devoured the food alone, but soon after, his stomach twisted with pain. His crops failed. His people abandoned him, and the king was left to suffer in loneliness." Oba Odele frowned, but Babaido continued. "Now, Oba, I will bring you your yams tomorrow, but if you eat them alone, you too will suffer. But if you share with the people, you will see blessings." Oba Odele, greedy and prideful, dismissed Babaido's words. The next morning, the farmer brought a large basket of yams to the palace. Oba Odele, despite the warning, ate the yams greedily without sharing a single bite. That night, a terrible sickness befell Oba Odele. His belly swelled. He was too weak to rise from his bed. His wealth meant nothing, as he could not enjoy it. Days passed, and the villagers, hearing of the chief's illness, refused to help him. Desperate and alone, Oba Odele sent for Baba Idowu. "Wise farmer, help me," he cried. "I have learned my lesson. I will share my wealth with the people." Baba Idowu came to the palace and looked at the chief. "Greed blinds the heart, Oba," he said softly. "You see now what it means to take more than you need. I will lift the curse, but only if you make good on your promise." Weak and humbled, Oba Odele agreed. From that day forward, he shared his wealth with the people, and the village flourished once again. And so, the lesson of the wise farmer spread far and wide. In times of plenty and times of hardship, those who share will always prosper, while the greedy will find themselves empty-handed. Now that is the end of the story of the wise farmer and the greedy chief. Thank you for watching.